All right, we're here today to talk about the EasyFeed system. That is one of the Alien Hydroponics hydroponic systems, of which there are 5 total. This is the most affordable, and you could also argue maybe even the most configurable, because there's almost no limits. You're using gravity, not pumps, and it is a bottom feed system. So as plant lovers here, we would tell you it's not maybe a great system for a plant you're gonna keep for years, but for something you're only gonna grow for a few months or a year or less, really good. If you go longer, what you can worry about then is salt buildup inside the pots because you're bottom feeding. So you can be flushed out, but just one consideration. Other than that, it is a really good automated bottom feed hydroponic system. Basically, it's comprised of these trays that go ahead and hold pots. We have different size trays, different size pots. There's 4 pots to choose from, sizes depending on what you're trying to accomplish, and then 2 trays to hold those different 4 sizes. The pot sits in there, you fill it with your grow medium. You could use cocoa, you could use soil, peat moss, whatever you want in there. You put it in there, and then these float valves go in each tray. Unlike a lot of the competitor ones or all the competitor ones, their float valves just sit in the tray. They easily get dislodged and you end up with a lot of flooding incidents. Each one of these is screwed in and affixed to the tray using a wrench that we provide to affix them to the tray. And then as the plant drinks, the float releases and it refills the tray. But there's one really unique benefit to the EasyFeed system over the other bottom feed systems out there. The other ones constantly fill up. You end up with root rot, you end up with needing to add additional stuff to keep the water from putrefying. What we include with EasyFeed is a special timer. Battery operated, no outlet required. You put this in line between your filling tank and your system, and then you set the timer. That allows you to control drybacks, and yes, you can even crop steer with this bottom feed system. And the way you do that is you would set this longer. Then when the pump releases and it lets water in, it would fill each of your trays up to the desired level using the float valve, allowing the plants to drink. This would close, allowing them to drink, soak up the water nutrient mix, and dry back however much you want. So, really cool system. One of the other nice things that's included is an actual filter to make sure you don't get anything in there and clog your lines. And speaking of lines, most of the competitors use very small kind of spaghetti line, not great for clogs. As anybody that's done hydroponics or dealt with plants, you know those will clog. This is a nice 16 millimeter, super high quality, it's not gonna kink on you, pipe, so it will not clog as easily. That's most of the components. One of the other ones we have is the tray cover. This goes over the float valve right there just to cover it and keep stuff from falling in there. And then a few other assorted things that we need to do the hookup. So that's the basic run through of EasyFeed. All right, so I mentioned float valves, and each tray is gonna get its own float valve, which is really cool. The reason is you can mix and match different pot sizes, different tray sizes, and different drinking needs of plants because each one gets one of these. So on the side here is a little knob you can use to change the pitch of this, which is gonna change how full each tray will get. So yes, you have the fidelity. You could have 4 different plants with different drinking needs, all in the same system, running the same dryback, but it's gonna give more water to each tray or to whatever trays you want by adjusting this float valve. Again, there's a little screw on the side, I loosen that, and then I can change this angle nicely, retighten it, and do that. So I can change the angle, and again, this is a float valve, so it's gonna open or close the float based on that angle. So really nice, it gives you the ability to control for different plants in the same system. You don't need to cordon them off into different systems. Another nice thing that we talked about briefly is our attachment points are all barbed fittings with our hose, and we have, of course, screws with grommets. So what happens is you don't need any glue. It's totally configurable without any glue, no chance of getting solvents into any of your plant material, anything like that. You have a nice clean system to start with.